You know that moment when someone asks you what you actually want and you go blank. But if they asked what they want, you'd know immediately. That's not confidence. That's something else wearing a confidence mask so well that you stop checking if anyone was underneath. There's a specific thing happening in you that feels like self-assurance, but it's actually the opposite. You've spent years getting very, very good at reading a room, saying the right thing, never being the problem. And the strange part is you probably do think you're confident, because the mask works. The confidence is real, it's just confidence in your ability to disappear. Let's go back. You were probably the kid who noticed things, small things, the way your parents' voice changed when they came home, the way silence meant something different depending on who was making it. You didn't have words for any of this. You were too young for that. But you were old enough to know that your safety depended on your awareness. Your safety depended on your awareness, not on your needs. So you learned to watch. More than that, you learned to predict. You could feel a mood shift before it happened. You could sense what someone needed from you before they knew they needed it. And when you got it right, the house felt safe. Your person felt okay. And you felt okay too. But then you learned something else. What you wanted mattered less than your accuracy. Maybe someone got upset with you because you weren't paying close enough attention. And that's the real issue, not anything you actually did. Or maybe you asked for something you needed and the response was a sigh, just a sigh, the kind that made you feel like you'd added weight to someone already buckling. So you stopped asking, not as a decision. You just learned that the safer play was to want what they wanted. Years went on. This became invisible. It became just who you are. Then you got older and got out into the world and you realized you were good at this. You could walk into a room and immediately clock what energy people were looking for. Funny with the funny people, serious with the serious ones, self-deprecating with the insecure ones, ambitious with the driven ones. You never made anyone uncomfortable by being yourself, because yourself had become whoever was most useful in that moment. And that's where the trap locked shut. People started calling this confidence. Your friends saw someone who could talk to anyone. Your boss saw someone who could read a client and adjust on the fly. The world kept reflecting back the image of someone assured and adaptable. So you believed it. You called it confidence. But confidence is built on knowing who you are. What you built is knowing who everyone else is and becoming that. Those feel the same from the inside. They're completely different things. The psychological term for this is a fawn response, and let me explain what that actually means because it's more specific than just being nice. A fawn response is a survival pattern. Like fight or flight, it's something your nervous system learned when you needed to stay safe in an environment where fighting wasn't an option and leaving wasn't either, so instead you appeased. You made yourself so useful, so attuned, so right, that the threat would pass. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for danger. Not consciously. You're not thinking danger check. It's just running. And when you grew up in a house where your safety depended on reading emotions and adjusting yourself, your system got extremely good at that scan. Your brain's threat detection center, the amygdala, learned to treat emotional instability the way another kid's might treat something physically dangerous. Real threat. Requires immediate response. So even now your system doesn't feel safe unless you're reading the room and managing the emotional temperature. You probably just feel compelled to do it. Like you don't have a choice. You walk into a meeting and you have to know what everyone's thinking. You're sitting with a friend and part of your attention is already on their face, their tone. Are they really okay? Are they upset with you? Do they need something you're not giving? This is exhausting. And it means you're never fully present. You're always one step ahead, trying to prevent a problem that happened a long time ago, in a different house with a different person. The confidence mask is what sits on top of all that. The fawn response keeps you safe by making you useful, but useful also means invisible, and an invisible is lonely. So somewhere along the way, your nervous system made the invisibility feel like strength, made it feel like you chose this, called it confidence, called it adaptability, called it emotional intelligence. Some of it genuinely is real skill. You did develop the ability to read people, you can adjust. You are aware of social dynamics in ways that actually help you sometimes, but you lost something important. The ability to be known, to want something openly, to take up space without immediately checking whether that space was meant for you. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You start noticing the conversations where you do most of the listening. The way you'll rearrange your whole evening because someone seemed a little off. The text you didn't send because it might be too much. The opinion you kept to yourself. The time you laughed at something that wasn't funny because the room needed lightness more than it needed honesty. All the small ways you've been disappearing. Here's what changes when you actually understand this though. The Fawn response protected something real. It kept you safe when you needed safety most. But what it was protecting you from wasn't criticism or rejection. It was the unbearable weight of other people's emotions. The particular pain of needing something and finding nobody equipped to give it to you. That's a real wound, and you covered it with usefulness. Something shifts when you see that clearly. When you understand that the confidence you've been performing isn't yours, and it's just a reflection of whatever room you happen to be standing in. Something opens up. You get to decide what comes next. The skills underneath aren't going anywhere. The ability to read people, to adjust, to sense what's needed, that stays. But you get to add something you couldn't before. You get to also ask what you need and stay present long enough to find out. The mask and your face aren't the same thing, but they've been pressed together so long you can't remember which one actually breathes. So here's what actually helps. Your nervous system has been running one program for decades. Peace equals invisibility. Safety equals usefulness. That program doesn't switch off because you understand it intellectually. It changes because you give your system new evidence, while you show it repeatedly, that you can be known and still be safe. And you do that in small moments. Someone asks how you are, and you actually tell them. Not, I'm good, how are you? The automatic redirect. You say, I'm tired, or I'm overwhelmed, or honestly, I'm not sure. And then you stay with their reaction instead of rushing to soften it. You let them feel whatever they feel about your reality. That's the experiment. That's how your nervous system learns that being known doesn't cause abandonment. Your body will want to do the old thing. It'll want to backtrack, add a joke, throw in a, but I'm fine, really. That's not weakness. That's just a trained reflex. You don't fight it. You notice it, and you stay put anyway. The second piece is learning to tell the difference between attuning and disappearing. These look almost identical from the outside, but they feel different if you pay attention. Attuning means you're aware of them and yourself. You're in the room with them, not erased by them. You can notice their mood and still stay connected to what you actually think. So in conversations, try this. You ask something, you listen, really listen, but you also track what you think about what they said. Not to correct them, just to know your own mind. What do I actually think about this? What did I feel when they said that? You're rebuilding the habit of having an interior life while you're with other people. Alongside the attuning, not instead of it. This is slow. For a while it will feel like you're going backwards because you'll be more aware of how often you disappear. But that awareness is the beginning of actually having a choice. The confidence you've been wearing, or the mask so well fitted you forgot you had a face. It's a survival strategy that worked once in a specific place with specific people. Setting it down doesn't leave you with nothing. It leaves you with something you maybe haven't felt in a long time. The ability to be here in your own life, known by the people who matter. Confidence that you're allowed to take up the space you actually occupy. If this resonated, there's more like it on Apophenia. Come find us.